Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how I install this Sensational Butter Lace Unit 34 in Chunky Highlight Blonde. I got this hair from hairsafly.com. It came in about 4 to 5 days, which I think was super quick. Some specs on this hair: it is a synthetic unit and it has ear-to-ear lace, but it is a T-part unit, so it's not like a full lace front wig. And the part is about 5 inches deep. It has 3 combs, 2 on the sides, 1 on the back, and an adjustable strap. So as you can see, this unit has the most perfect beachy waves. It's also super long, 30 inches in length, and it comes with its own layers. This unit also came pre-plucked, so I really didn't have to do too much to it. But a really important step I do before installing my units is to tint the lace, just so it blends better with my skin and so that I don't have to pile makeup on over time to hide the lace. So to do that, I'm going to be using the RIT dye, the synthetic one, and I will be dyeing both my wig caps and the unit. So before I dye the unit, I make sure to pull all the hair back so that it doesn't get stuck in the dye, especially because I have platinum blonde pieces. And then I just boiled some water on the kettle, put it in a plastic container, and then I take out the RIT dye and I poured about half of the bottle inside of the water. I already used about half of it from my previous wigs, so I just emptied out the remainder. And then a really important trick that I learned here on YouTube is to add a tablespoon of salt. I believe this cancels out the brassy tone and just makes it more evenly toned. And then I take in all of my wig caps, make sure they're fully submerged in the water, and then I will also add my unit. I let mine sit in the water for about 10 minutes or so. Make sure to check up on it because you don't want it to get too dark, because you can always tint it more, but you can't lighten it. Now when I put my hair in the water, I just make sure not to submerge all of it because, again, I have platinum blonde pieces that I don't want to dye, so just make sure that just the lace is touching the water. Onto the installation. Before I start, I cornrowed my hair just straight back. This is what I find works for me and is the flattest for me under my units. And this is how the wig caps look after putting them in the dye. I think they match really nicely to my skin, especially the color that they were before was just way too light, so this is perfect for me. Now, when I tinted my lace for this wig, I didn't get all the sides, like the side pieces inside the water. So those sides I will just have to put a little bit of makeup on to conceal them better, but this is how the front looks. It just looks so much better, like it blends a lot better with my skin tone. I'm gonna put my wig cap on regularly and I'm happy as long as it covers the front portion of my hair. If you guys want to see how I install units using the bald cap method, just let me know, but for this unit I was just going to wear it for about 2 days, so I didn't feel it was necessary. Next, I'm actually going to cut the combs that are on the sides of this unit. I don't really like these combs. I feel like they hurt my head, especially when I'm wearing this hair for multiple days at a time, so I just make sure to always cut mine off. Then I adjust the straps that are in the back so that they fit my head securely but comfortably. I'm going to be using 70% isopropyl alcohol to wipe down around my edges before I install this unit. You can use 90% and up, but I find that to be really harsh, so I like to stick with my 70%. I make sure to wipe down around my edges so that I can remove any excess oil or dust that might be on there so that my unit will stick on better. After I apply it all around my edges, I'm going to use my little fan just to make sure that it's completely dry. Then I throw on the hair just to make sure that everything fits nicely. I mean, y'all, look at how nice that lace blends into my skin. I cut off my ear tabs next by just cutting around my ear, and then I rip away that excess lace. I do the same thing to the other side, and this just makes it so that your unit can lay super flat to your head. I'm using Ghost Bond wig adhesive. Mine has been beat up from over the years, but you can buy yourself a fresh new bottle from Amazon. And I'm tracing around my hairline using a white eyeliner, but I would recommend using like a liquid liner so that it shows up over the lace. I'm using a rat tail comb and I'm going to dip it into the glue before I apply my first thin layer around my hairline. You need to make sure to spread out the glue evenly so that it dries clear and flat. I also like to start with one half of my head. I blow dry on cool on the highest setting. You really want to make sure that this first layer is completely dry before you move on to your second layer. If you see a section that's just a little bit whiter than the other parts, you can use a rat tail comb just to smear it out a little more. For the second layer of glue, I make sure not to blow dry it fully, and I actually will put the lace over the glue so that it can fully dry on there. I find this better because if you let it fully dry, the glue actually won't stick to the lace as well, so I let it fully dry while it's on the lace. I use my rat tail comb to really press the lace into my skin, like into the glue, so that it's super secure. You want to make sure not to use your fingers in this case because of all the excess oil that can get onto the glue, which may cause your wig to lift up sooner. After that side is completely dry, I'll do the same thing to the other side. So 2 layers of glue. That first layer you let completely dry. The second layer you let completely dry while it's on the lace. Now it's time to cut the lace. So I like to cut mine super close to my hairline. And in a zigzag motion, you don't want to cut it completely straight because then you'll be able to see the lace. So a jagged cut is always helpful to help blend into your skin. After all the lace is cut, I will clip back my hair and use my melting band for 10 minutes. After those 10 minutes are up, this is how your lace should be looking. A lot more melted. I'm using the isopropyl alcohol to wipe down any excess glue that I still have around my edges and to also remove that white liner that I was talking about earlier. Now I'm brushing out the hair because it's time to style. And from this step, I could really tell that this synthetic unit was easier to comb out than other units that I've tried in the past. I feel like it's super silky and it just was super easy to run my hands through after I was done combing. And look at how beautiful these waves are, and also the highlights. It's giving blonde bombshell. I'm using a random concealer in my part to define it some more, and then I'm going to use that same concealer to clean up around the edges. Anything that looks a little bit too gray or too white, I'm going to cover that up with the concealer. Y'all, my hot comb literally sparked on me the other day, so I won't be using that for this video. Instead, I'm taking a barrel iron curler and I'm gonna part sections of my hair to the side so that I can flatten it. Since I'm wearing a middle part for this style, when you flatten sections that are below the part, it makes the actual top part of the hair look a lot flatter. A little trick I like to do to get that voluminous curtain bangs look is to take the curling rod and just press it up against the hair in a way so that when it falls, it kind of holds that position. And you can already see the difference. It looks a lot more voluminous. Just the way it lays is beautiful. Now it's time for my favorite part, which are the edges. I start by carving out a little half circle at the top half of my head. You can make this as big or as small as you want, but I like my edges on the more dramatic side. Normally I would use my hot comb to separate my edges from the rest of the hair, but this barrel iron will do the exact same thing. Just make sure that your edges are flat and the hair is out of the way. When I cut my edges, I start with a rough length and then I will go in with a pencil iron and curl it. If I do need to make it shorter or just the way it falls, I will do that later. I will also carve out a little piece by my sideburns and do the same thing where I just take my barrel iron, make sure it's pressed out of the way, and then I will use my pencil iron to curl it. It's time to lay these edges. So on one side of my head I used the Gorilla Snot, and on the other side I actually used Edge Booster. Gorilla Snot is a lot more liquidy, watery, and for this unit I just found that it didn't work as well to lay down my edges. The Edge Booster is a pomade, so it has a lot more strength when it's holding down your hair. And this is the final look. Sensationnel really knows what they're doing with these synthetic wigs because I cannot believe the quality of this unit. It literally feels like human hair. I can run my hands through it super easily. It's shiny and very bouncy. The color is stunning, like the black hair with the platinum blonde. Are you kidding? It's so cute. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye! Mwah!